Thank you for joining us. We're officially showing the second episode of Decision Pints, a show about making things happen and the people who do it. Today our special guest is Wyatt Werner of Ignite Boise, Boise Classic Movies, Canso, web development. And before we get started, we'd love to talk about the reason we're dedicating the show today is to a beautiful gal, Jenny Custer, who fought bravely for 2 years with a rare autoimmune disorder, fighting paralysis, fighting insurance cutting them off, and having family and friends provide nursing care to a persevering family who are champions of brave and great people. So to Jenny and the Custer family, here's to you.
To Jenny.
So, Wyatt, you have a reputation and a record of starting things. And, I mean, Ignite Boise was one I came here and was just impressed at hearing Matt Pipkin formally launch Commit 65 in one of the best YouTube videos I've ever seen. And I know you played a part in that, and we want to talk about that. And I know Canso web development and the great things you do there. And really, before we get to those, let's learn a little bit more about Boise Classic Movies, which is great. I went and attended one, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, at the Egyptian Theater here in Boise, and people were dressed up, passionate, yelling and responding during the movie. Just
singing.
Awesome. And singing. Yeah. and you started that. And why? How? Why?
Well, I wanted to start a theater, and started looking at different spots and different inputs and everything like that, and found out that it was going to be about $1.2 million before you sell your first bucket of popcorn. I thought, well, no, that's not what I want. So let's go. I kind of shelved it for a while, and I picked it back up later and thought, well, wait a minute. All I'm trying to do is watch cool movies in a cool place with a beer. Why don't we do that at the Egyptian? Because, as you mentioned, we did Ignite at the Egyptian. That's how I knew them. And you think, why don't I have more excuses to go into the Egyptian? And why aren't we showing any kind of movies over there? So I went and talked to those folks and said, look, here's the minimum number of people we have to get at a particular price and not go broke doing this. Let's try this group buying play and see if it works. And we'll stand it up. And if worst case scenario, we get to watch The Godfather and Big Lebowski before we quit doing it. And best case scenario, people will tell us what they want to see, and they'll show up, and off we go. The big recurring problem in smaller theaters is people will come up to the box office and say, hey, you should show Ferris Bueller. And the answer is, oh yeah, sure, okay, great. So you go through the effort, you put up Ferris Bueller, dozen people show up, and invariably the next day people come to your box office and say, hey, when are you showing Ferris Bueller? I can't wait for that. And no one gets invested, no one shows up, and you make no money doing it, and you typically lose a little money doing it. So yeah, the idea of encouraging pre-sales and not actually putting up the entire rent for the theater until you have enough bodies coming in the door to pay for the thing. That was really the idea. Like, let's not go broke.
Which it sounds simple and reasonable hearing you say it now, but innovating that concept is what's brilliant to me, to think that, wow, we can actually suggest movies, get votes, and have it tip.
Yeah. I mean, people love to tell you what they want to see. I mean, what's your favorite movie?
Contact.
That's not true.
It's true.
Okay.
I'm lame. Zorro's pretty sweet too.
Okay, I'm going to drink some beer. I need to drink some beer after hearing that. So, no, I actually like Contact. So, all right. So, you knew that at the ready. You just, yes, Contact, that's my movie. I want to see that. Bam. And if you were to see that it were up for vote, you'd go vote for it and you'd say, yeah, I voted for Contact. Hey, everybody go vote for Contact. And those other 4 movies are crap because we put up 5 movies for vote. And so yeah, you've suggested it to begin with. You've voted for it. You've told other people to vote for it. And then when it goes up for sale, you get tickets and tell everybody else to go get tickets that you know. Because if they don't, then it's not going to show at all. So I really don't have to do a ton except make sure people know that their vote won and give them the means to spread it around. And that they did. They latched onto it. Boise's really latched onto it and did it.
Love it. So talk us through a little bit of the details in the first one and the first few. And when did you say this is going to be successful?
Oh, man. The first one was Godfather. And we actually set a tipping point. Tipping point's the minimum number of tickets I have to sell. we set a tipping point of 250, and I think we decided before that we were going to force it no matter what. We're going to show it because the first one will promote the second one, because no one will know or care what won the vote that was going on that we're going to reveal at the show if we don't actually have a show to reveal it at. So that was kind of the thought. Like, we're going to fudge it, and we definitely fudged it. I think we had about 150 when we were supposed to have 250. But by the time the show came, we had 260. So we actually did meet that mark, barely. And then the next show, we immediately took that tipping point down to 200. Like, we don't really need 250. We just need 200, and we'll be okay. So that was the initial one. What won the vote next was Big Lebowski. It sold out. so like, okay, well, we know we found some kind of audience. So
Immediately, the first two were the first one. Did you make money on?
I mean, we didn't lose any money. I had a few startup costs that I got back. I think after the second one, I mean, the sellout does pretty well. But yeah, the third one was Rear Window, and that one was kind of a tough go, and that took a little doing. So yeah, no, it didn't really. It's automatic is too strong, but it didn't really become as automatic as it is until about 18 months ago. When we put Labyrinth up for the first time. Wow. Like, all the weirdos came out of the closet, and they've stuck around, and it's just been great.
So I've walked by the Egyptian when one's showing, and you can hear people making noises from outside on the street.
Totally.
It's awesome.
Yeah, people quote, they cheer when the hero comes on. The best show to come to is The Princess Bride. We do it every year. People ask for it all the time. We sell out 2 shows for it. I mean, it's a ton of fun. Prince Humperdinck comes on screen. People, yeah, it's great. They all. One year they slow clapped. They slow clapped the death of the Six-Fingered Man, which was really great.
And these are without cues. There's no card telling the audience.
It's not like Rocky Horror where they know, like, okay, now we stand up and dance and throw crap in the air. This is just people who are excited to watch their favorite movie and sit next to other people who are there doing the same thing.
So we try to keep the show short. However, that's so motivating, and we love hearing more and more that we're going to have a second show. But before we close, let's talk a little bit about the future of Boise Classic Movies. And I know you were recently traveling. You've gone to other cities. Tell us about what's next.
Okay, so we actually stood up another site called Crowded Theater, where established theaters can run the same kind of vote and tipping point process. So there we were in Portland for a while. We're in Albany, Oregon now. I've had a couple little like pings of interest, and then they get busy and we get busy, and so that needs more attention, but it's there. And then we started at the Colonial Theater over in Idaho Falls. We're calling it Colonial Classic Movies. It's the same program, site of its own. I go over there once a month, put it on. It's a little slow to take off, but they're working on it. They're coming around. We did Monty Python last month. That did pretty well. We're trying to do Young Frankenstein this time around. Nice. And they're pretty late to strike, but that's fine. And that's normal. So we're working on it. But
well, it's exciting. Coming out of Boise, entrepreneurs making things happen. Wyatt Werner is a great example, and we look forward to talking more. We always like to conclude the show with an endorsement. #KindaGuyWho. And I would say Wyatt Werner, kind of guy who always has a sweet hat that just makes you wish you go back to your wardrobe and come back a little bit more dressed.
Ooh.
So thank you everybody who joined, and we'll look forward to episode 3 and then hearing again from Wyatt in the days ahead.
All right, cheers.
Thank you, Boise Classic Movies.
All right.